Well, let's see. This is would be, I guess, our 7th Quad 1 opportunity. Maybe
It's a.
maybe our 8th.
I can think of a 5-1.
Yeah. But the mirror image here is that Purdue and Auburn have both played as tough a schedule as anybody in the country. Purdue's already beaten Alabama and Ole Miss in our league. They lost to Texas A&M. All those teams were ranked when they played them. They've got a great win over Maryland and NC State. So they've played a really tough schedule. I want to thank Matt Painter, regardless of the outcome, before we even play, in the sense that in the preseason, Mike Burgomaster worked really hard on our non-conference schedule, and we thought we had a veteran team. We thought we could have a good team, so we wanted to try to play as tough a schedule as we possibly could. But it doesn't happen without the cooperation of Matt Painter, who says, I'm willing to come to Birmingham first. You guys come back to Indianapolis next year. Or, Calvin Sampson saying, hey, you guys come down to Houston and we'll come back to Birmingham the following year. And so I just want to thank my fellow coaches who've got such great respect. Calvin Sampson, Matt Painter, doesn't get any better than that. Only thing with Matt is I'm old enough to have recruited him when he was in high school in Indiana, and he went to Purdue, and I was an assistant at Iowa. And he's already become, even though I recruited him, he's already a dean of like the coaches in the Big Ten, along with Tom Izzo. And so it tells you how old I am to have recruited a guy that's already the dean of the coaches in the Big Ten. That's really something. But Matt's one of the best in the business, both on and off the court, with everything they do and the culture of their program, and so on and so forth. They've got 5 great starters and a couple of the Player of the Year candidates. Braden Smith is the Big Ten preseason Player of the Year. Analytically, he's the best point guard in the country, just from a standpoint of his tremendous assist turnover ratio, his 3-point percentage, just the way he just plays the game the right way. He's so much fun to watch. Regardless of how you guard him, he knows precisely the counter to everything that you do, and he knows it instinctively. So it almost doesn't even matter, what you do. He knows what to do in a counter. Trey Kaufman, Ren, is the best scoring big in the Big Ten. He is, he's just got great hands. He's got great feet, got great touch. He's an old school, back to the basket inside player. That they do a great job, getting him, touches, and they do a great job in their transition ball screen stuff and the different things that they do with him. And then, Fletcher Lawyer is one of the best shooters in college basketball. Just the way he plays, and he's developed some mid-range stuff and some ability to hit the ball off the floor. Marlene, she's so on top of her game when it comes to pregame notes, that she will be intrigued by this, that Fletcher Lawyer's mom, Katie Lawyer, was the volleyball coach at Southern Indiana back in the late 1800s. Back in the like the 1996, 97, 98 time framework. Her husband, John Lawyer, was the head basketball coach at Wabash Community College down in Southern Illinois. He later went on to be, was a great NBA coach and NBA front office guy. And so Fletcher was not born in Evansville, but I knew his parents before he did. Janai, we got a positive report from the standpoint of no surgery required. no damage. It was a different. It was. Let's just leave it at that. He won't practice today, but he will travel, obviously, up there, and I couldn't even tell your status, whether it's questionable, not likely. We don't know. But the good news, it's not a long-term problem.
What's your message to the other big guys with Janai just being, I guess, questionable, or you just don't really know heading into Saturday?
Well, we got a game plan with him and without him. Probably more without him, but we'll game plan both. Obviously, we Purdue's a three-headed monster, and they've got some other guys that can play also. That can make shots and play really hard. And you know how they're going to play. They're not going to beat themselves. So it's just we won't have as much depth, obviously, and so therefore foul trouble will be a factor. I'm sure Purdue's they're not going to change how they play. They go to him, they're going to go to him, but they'll know that without Janai, we would really be lacking for depth on the front line, and foul trouble could be a factor. So we got to defend. We got to defend without fouling.
Jared.
Coach, Tuesday you spoke on the rebounding category. How have you challenged the guys this week to prepare for Purdue and dominating the glass Saturday?
Well, I thought Georgia State did a great job on the glass, and obviously playing against a Big Ten team, big physical team. We're going to have to do a better job of guarding our yard and not giving them second chance opportunities, and doing a great job with our transition defense. Purdue is sneaky good in transition.
Bruce, you've talked a lot about how Chaney works harder than anybody else. He's in there. Do y'all ever have to tell him, like, hey man, like maybe don't get an extra work out of here, and then because he's already done so much?
No, and if you guys have been with me for 11 years now, I very rarely will say that a particular player works harder than anybody else, because I always say one of our hardest working players, we're a really hardworking team, but Chaney is at just next level. And so one of the points that I make to the team about Chaney Johnson would be, did anything Chaney do against a pretty good front line at Georgia State, did anything he do surprise you? And the answer is no. Okay. All right. Well, why did he do more in this particular game? Well, because Janai was out, and so we went to Chaney. Well, since we all knew Chaney could do this, would it sort of be natural for somebody in Chaney's position to go, well, why am I not getting the ball more, like early in the year? Why? When we know he can do what he just did. And the answer is, that's what an Auburn man does. That's what an Auburn basketball player does. That's what Chaney Johnson does. Not one word about his play calls, not complaining about, hey, Janai's he's getting 15 really good touches and I'm only getting 6. Not a word. Not a word. Just an unbelievable young man, unbelievable teammate. And we always tell guys, look, stay right and stay ready. And he's a real example of that.
Bruce, you mentioned Braden Smith and the job that he does sort of as a veteran point guard. You guys have defended the backcourt really well. What kind of challenge does him and the rest of that lineup present?
I mean, he just, he's got to be a feature part of your game plan and how you guard him, and I'm excited for our guards. Like if this team has a chance, to continue to play at a high level, our guards will have to continue to guard like we've been guarding. Now, it's going to be obviously another challenge against Purdue, but that might be one thing that we might be doing better this year, is guarding overall, and certainly our guards have done a really nice job. And Denver leads that off. Chad Baker, Miles Kelly has always been a 3 guy, and now he's showing that he can be a 3-and-D guy. He's and our freshman Tahad has improved so much. Jakai's improved defensively. Chris Moore's solid defensively as a guard spot. So if we can continue to guard like we've been guarding in the backcourt, it's going to really help this team continue to have a chance to win.
Yeah, Bruce, their center, their big man they're playing through. Not a guy as big as the guys they've had in the past, like Edie, but still is just as good of a scorer. What does he bring to the table? Like, why has he been so effective?
Well, he's got great hands. He's big, strong. He's wide. He does a great job of sealing. He can go over either shoulder. He can pass out of it.
Yeah.
He'll be one of the better offensive centers that we'll go against this year.
Right, any more questions for Coach? Right, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Thanks, Bruce.